Hello, my little mathematicians. Let's go ahead and finish our final study guide number 4 problems. Let's go ahead and start with problem 21. Okay, so if we start at problem 21, it says multiply, express your answer in simplest form. Basically, make sure it's fully reduced. Okay, so I'm going to multiply these two fractions. So 2/3 times 5/6. Can these cross cancel? No. Can these cross cancel? Yes. So 2 can go into both 2 and 6. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now multiply across. 1 times 5 is 5, and 3 times 3 is 9. So you end with 5/9 because that can't reduce anymore. If you don't like cross canceling, okay, to me that just makes it so much easier, then you would multiply across. 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 6 is 18, and then you'd have to reduce it here. And you'd see, oh, okay, 2 can go into both of those. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 18 divided by 2 is 9. It's fine. You still get the same answer. It's just sometimes those numbers get really big. So it's just easier if you cross cancel if possible. Okay. For the next one, it's almost the same. You're still multiplying with fractions, but it's mixed numbers where you have a whole number and a fraction. So you can't just multiply the whole number and the fraction. You first of all have to change this mixed number to an improper fraction. So keep the denominators the same. And to get your numerators, you multiply the denominator with the whole number and add the numerator. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Okay, now that we have this, can you cross cancel? No. Can you cross cancel those? No. So multiply across. 7 times 7 is 49. 2 times 5 is 10. Can you leave it like this? No. This is improper. So then we need to change it back to a mixed number by taking the top divided by the bottom. So remember, top dog goes inside the house. 10 can't go into 4, but it can go into 49 4 times. 10 times 4 is 40. Subtract that and you get 9. So you put your remainder 9 over what you divided by 10. So 49 over 10 is the same thing as 4 and 9/10. Okay, for our next one, when we're dividing with fractions, we want to remember keep, change, flip. Okay, keep, change, flip. That means keep the first fraction the same, change division to multiplication, and flip that second fraction. Okay, and now you can go ahead and start multiplying. Because we can't divide with fractions, so we need to change it to a multiplication problem. And now we did. Can you cross cancel this for me? Can anything go into 3 and 9? Yeah, 3 can. So what's 9 divided by 3? 3. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. Can anything go into 2 and 8? Yeah, 2 can. What's 2 divided by 2? 1. What's 8 divided by 2? 4. Now multiply across. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. Are you done? No, I can simplify that because that's an improper, so change it to a mixed number by taking the top divided by the bottom. 3 goes into 4 once. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract that and you get 1. So you put your remainder over what you divided by. So 4/3 is the same thing as 1 and 1/3. All right, for my next one, we're dividing again, but I have another mixed number. So I need to change that to an improper fraction. Okay, so 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. That one's already a fraction, so just leave it alone. Okay, but remember, you can't divide with fractions. We have to change it to a multiplication problem. So you keep the first fraction the same, change division to multiplication, and flip that second fraction. So the 2 goes to the bottom and the 5 goes to the top. Now, do you see anything that can cross cancel? Well, 2 and 25 can't, 5 and 4 can't, so let's multiply across. 25 times 5 is 125. 4 times 2 is 8. I can't leave it like that, so let's divide the top by the bottom. 8 can't go into 1, but it can go into 12 once. Subtract that, and you get 4. Bring down your 5. 8 goes into 45 5 times, because 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract that, you get 5. There's nothing else to bring down, so put your remainder over what you divided by. And 5/8 can't reduce, so that is the same thing as 15 and 5/8. Okay, for my next one, it says Pam's basketball league has 36 9-year-olds and 48 10-year-olds. Write this as a ratio of 9-year-olds to 10-year-olds in all 3 forms. Okay, I'm going to try to color code this. So it wants it from 9-year-olds to 10-year-olds. Okay, just in case they like mix the order up there. Okay, 9-year-olds, 36 9-year-olds and 48 10-year-olds. Okay, so then since it came in the order of 9 to 10, it wants it to the numbers that represent 9-year-olds and then 10-year-olds. So this, the number representing 9-year-olds goes on top, and then the number representing 10-year-olds goes on the bottom. Okay, when you write them in all 3 forms, they want it in the simplest form. So can I reduce this? Yeah, by 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6. 48 divided by 6 is 8. Can you reduce that? By 2. And 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now, if you reduced with different numbers, it's fine, as long as you still got to 3/4. And then all 3 ways, the other 2 is separated by a colon with the 3 first, or separated by the word 2. So 3 to 4, 3 to 4, 3 to 4. Notice you couldn't tell a difference as I said them, because they're all saying the same thing. It's just they look a little bit different. Really pay attention when it says it wants a ratio of this to that. It wants it in that order. So the numbers that represent the 9-year-olds to the 10-year-olds. And then always reduce it as much as you can. Okay. For my next one, it says find the area of the triangle. The drawing is not to scale. So if something looks bigger than the other one, like just ignore it. Just pay attention to the numbers that they give you. The area of a triangle is 1/2 the product of its base and height. So in other words, 1/2 base times height is the formula for the area. So let's go ahead and solve for the area. 1/2, the base, remember this little box connects your base to your height. So the base is 10 and your height is 12. Those other numbers are there in case you want to find the perimeter. 1/2 of 10 is 5, and 5 times 12 is 60. My unit was, did they tell me? They didn't specify the unit, did they? So then we just put units squared, because area is always square units. Okay, the next one says Chuck is going to visit his grandmother. He needs to drive 441 miles in 7 hours. What is his average speed in miles per hour? So it wants miles per hour. And when it wants the average, it wants it in how many for just 1 hour. Okay, well, we can go 441 miles in 7 hours. So to get your denominator to become 1, divide by that denominator. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. Do the same thing to the top. 441 divided by 7, you get 63. So then you can go 63 miles in 1 hour. Again, if they ask you to find the average, then they just want you to find like how many it is per just one of them for these guys. Okay, my next one says choose the missing value for the following table of equivalent ratios that represents the relationship between the number of hats bought and the total cost. Okay, so first off, let's use this one that's provided. I could go 1 plus 3 is 4, right? So the pattern could be 1 plus 3 that gives me this. So then if I add 3 to this number, does that give me this? No, 5 plus 3 is not 20. So the pattern isn't this plus 3. What's another way I can go from 1 to 4? If you multiply by 4, right? 1 times 4 is 4. Let's try multiplying this guy by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. That worked. 15 times 4 is 60. Perfect. So it's, you take whatever this is, multiply it by 4, and that gives you this. So since I don't know this, let's do the other way. 16 divided by 4 is 4. And yeah, 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, so there we go. I've used the pattern to help me figure out that missing value. And remember, you have to check with just more than one, because if I would have just stopped here and gone, oh, 1 plus 3 is 4. So I just take this number and add 3, and then I get this one. You would have put 13, and that is not correct right there. Okay, for the next one up top, it says, in a recent food study, 40 people were asked what fruit they like best. Use the bar graph to answer the next 2 questions. How many more people liked pineapples than mangoes? Okay, so how many more people? So that means I'm going to find the difference between them. And I want to find it with the people who liked pineapples. Trace that over. 18 people liked pineapples. Okay, and subtract that from the people who liked mangoes. Mangoes, trace it over. And the number of people who liked mangoes was 10. Okay, well, 18 minus 10 is 8. So 8 more people liked pineapple than mangoes. Okay, the next one says, what is the difference between the most popular and least popular fruit? Okay, so the most popular would be the highest. So the pineapple we said was 18. We wanted the difference between that and the least. So here's the smallest one. Trace that over, and it hits at 4. So 18 minus 4 is 14. Okay, so that's the difference between the most popular and least popular fruit. Okay, the last one for this page says, give the coordinates of E, F, and G. Okay, E, F, and G. Remember that the first point is always the X value, which goes right if it's positive or left if it's negative. And the second one is Y, which goes up if it's positive or down if it's negative. Okay, so right or left, and then up or down. So for E, it went left, so negative, and it went left how many? That's 5, so then 6. And it went up just 1. Okay, F is here. It went over nothing. And then it went down 1, 2, 3. This one went over 1 and up nothing, so 0. Okay, last page here. Okay. For our last one, it says, Celia has a list of points she scored for her team in basketball so far this season. What are the mode and median of the data set? Okay. Well, for the mode, that's the one that happened most often, and the median is the middle. So first of all, let's put them in order from least to greatest. Okay. 4 is the smallest number, and I see 1, 2, 3 fourths. So 1, 2, 3 fourths. Then I see a 5, then 2 eighths, and a 10. Always double check, because if you accidentally start crossing off and you don't have the correct amount of numbers written down, you're already going to miss it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers in my data set. Make sure you wrote down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Okay, now cross off to the middle number. So crossing off from the first, then last, first, then last, first, then last. And there's your middle number. Okay, so there's 3 on this side, 3 on this side, which means 5 is my median. Now, which number occurred the most often? Is it 4 and 8? No, your mode is just 4. Because, yeah, 8 happened more than once, but it's the most often, so just 4. Because it happened 3 times, 8 only happened twice. So your mode is 4. Yes, it is possible to have 2 modes. So if the 8 happened 3 times as well, then yeah, it would be 4 and 8. If they all happen the same number of times, then you would put no mode, not 0, because 0 is a number. So if they all happen the same number of times, you put no mode. If there's 2 that happen the most, but it's a tie for the most, then put them both. Okay, my next one says, Dan has a list of the scores of all of his math tests and quizzes during the year. What are the mode and median? Okay, so again, let's put these guys in order. The smallest number I see is 42. Okay, the next one, 74. Then 75. Oh, I see another 75. So two 75s. 78, I think, is the next. And then 79. And then 82, 85, 87, and 91. Okay, double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. Perfect. Okay, so now cross off to the middle. So cross off from the beginning and the end, beginning and end, beginning and end, beginning and end, beginning and end. So it's between 78 and 79. Well, what's between 78 and 79? 78.5. If you didn't know that, then you could find the average of the two numbers it's between. So you'd add those and divide by 2. So 78 plus 79 divided by 2, you still would have gotten 78.5 for your median. Okay, what's your mode? Well, your mode is the one that happened most often. This is the only one that happened more than once, so 75 would be your mode. Okay, the next one says find the area of the parallelogram. Drawing's not drawn to scale. And reminder, the area of a parallelogram is base times height. So that little box connects your base to your height. So your height is 8.75. Your base is here, which is the same as this, so 22. So 22 times 8.75. I would just use this number if I was finding the perimeter. It'd be 22 plus 10 plus 22 plus 10. But I'm not finding perimeter, I'm finding area. Okay, if you were to multiply 22 times 8.75, hopefully you just plug it into your calculator, but if it's a non-calculator, we'd multiply it out. That's 10 plus 1, 14 plus 1 is 15, 16 plus 1 is 17. Okay, the 2 is all used up, so put a 0 placement holder. That's 10 plus 1 is 15, 16 plus 1 is 17. Now add down 0, 5, 12, 1, 9, and 1. Okay, there's 2 numbers after the decimal, so I have 2 numbers after the decimal for your answer. And you get area is 192.5. It was in inches squared, because area is always squared. Okay, last column of problems. We got this. It says, find the volume of the rectangular prism. Okay, so to find the volume, we're going to go volume equals length times width times height. So the length is 28. The width is 10.5 or 10.5. Again, to change any fraction to a decimal, take the top divided by the bottom. So 1 divided by 2, you'd get 0.5 times a height of 9. Okay, type that into your calculator. 28 times 10.5 times 9, you'd get 2,646 centimeters squared or centimeters cubed. Volume is always cubed to the 3rd power, because you have centimeters times centimeters times centimeters. There's 3 of them. Here you just had inches times inches, so 2 of them, so it was squared. My next one says evaluate the expression. Okay, or it also could have said simplify. Order of operations. Within those parentheses, order of operations still apply. So you need to do subtracting or exponents. Exponents first within there. Well, 5 squared is 5 times 5. It's 5 times itself 2 times. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, and then I still need to simplify in there. 50 minus 25 is 25. And now 3 plus 25 is 28. Okay, last problem. Parentheses, no. Exponents, yes. What's 3 squared? 9. Bring down your other stuff. Okay, parentheses gone. Exponents gone. Multiplication or division, right there. What's 9 times 2? 18. And then 20 minus 18, And there you go. Hopefully you got all those right. If you missed any, go ahead and type in the topic of the thing that you missed into either Khan Academy or CUTA, Kuta. Type it into Google, CUTA worksheet plus whatever topic you want more practice with answers. And then they'll give you a worksheet that is focused just on the type of problem that you want help with. Or Khan Academy is also a great resource. They have video tutorials going through all the different topics, as well as little mini practice quizzes and practice problems for you. Okay, so typing this into Google with the desired topic or Khan Academy with the desired topic you want more practice of would be strongly suggested if you missed any of these. If not, congratulations.